got you through the struggle, or I got you through the grind. It's on the rise, the restore, and I can feel it. It's slowly coming back to the core of good music. Back when legends was spitting, the shit was different. It wasn't debates, if a bar was actually written. I'ma be creative.
No, to be fair, we didn't. I think after, I don't think even Shane knew. We was here for, I first met Shane in Manchester when we was getting auditioned and stuff. We had a couple of meetings in Manchester, and then we actually came down here and started to workshop. And oddly enough, across from this room here, the club I was telling you before, Phil, there used to be like a scout hut across the road there, and that's where we kind of used to rehearse in there. There was a snooker table in there, we used to rehearse in there. And there was a pub down in the village as well, we used to go in and stuff. And we probably was working for about 2 weeks before the cameras even turned. So then we started to realise, you know, what this was going to be. And I'd seen A Room for Romeo Brass, so I knew of his stuff, and you know, I was a big fan of magazine. So I was a big fan anyway. But we kind of, I mean, me and lads became, me and Neil Bell, we know each other from Manchester and stuff, we became really close pretty quick. So we'd talk, we was in here a lot of the nights after rehearsing, we'd be in here, we stayed down here. They put us up in some log cabins up in the hills somewhere. There was some kind of campsite up there, so we stayed up there. So we was out every night on the beer and stuff like that, so we're getting to know each other pretty well. So we really, we started to talk then and think, this is a bit good, this, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because as an actor, he was letting us do what we want as well. I mean, he was throwing ideas at us and suggestions and stuff like that. And if I remember rightly, the original script was called Score, I think him and Paddy wrote. I've got the original script still. And it was a bit like a superhero thing. Paddy was like a superhero coming back and avenging his brother. It was, and it just started to change, it started to develop. And my character, oddly enough, was going to be the first one to die. The very first scene that was filmed, the very first day filming was the scene where I walked in here and talked to Paddy in the corner. And I remember Paddy and Mark Herbert out in the corridor there, and I walked in and I walked back out, and they were pissing themselves, fucking laughing, and going, cool Manchester walk that night, and all that kind of stuff. And they just said, that's where it's, they saw something I was doing, and they thought, we're gonna leave him right till the end, because and it started to become funny then that I was the one that would keep bumping into Paddy's character, and nobody else would see him, but it was just me, and I'd be going back telling everyone and stuff like that. They thought it was funny, so they thought, we'll leave him till the end to suffer the most, kind of thing, you know. So yeah, we did kind of, we started to think then, wow, this could be something. But I think, I don't know if this story's correct, but I think Shane got offered a lot more money to do it, and he literally said, I'll take half the money and I want to keep control of it and do it my way. And Gary Stretch's character, Sonny, there was a Yorkshire lad originally cast as that character. A right big lad, a bit like my mate here, Si, typical kind of, you know, and he was going to be the leader. And then they realised it wasn't right for Sonny's character. They wanted something who was a bit, looked hard and was hard, but also there was this kind of, there was something a bit sinister about him. You know, which Gary did so well, kind of thing, that you didn't quite know what was in his past and stuff, you know. So we'd been rehearsing for about a week or two, and then we said, he's going to bring this guy in, Gary Stretch, and he flew in from LA, came to meet us across the road, and we were all set up and we were all giving him the looks, kind of. I think he found it hard for a couple of days, Gary, because we was already gelled, you know, so he had to come in, fit into us and try and be our lead, and we were all, yeah, right, mate, you know what I mean, we're already, we know what we're doing. But it worked perfectly for the film, you know. Yeah. I mean, it was an improvised film. It was scripted and worked. It was what we call script working. We worked on it. Some scenes we'd spend hours on, Shane, until he could hear things that we were developing and go, right, okay, we'll film it now. Other things, the classic scene that was literally one take, and it's in the film, is the one where we're in the. Gary Stretch is in the bath. I'm drinking some beer, saying, "Oh, it stinks, that man." That was literally one take, and that was it. That was the scene done. With Shane in the background, pissing himself laughing. Because I was amazed when we filmed it, thinking, I was like, I can hear Shane laughing. How come that's not going to be in the film? I can just hear him pissing himself laughing. Him and Mark Herbert, producer, and that was it. And he basically said to us, he said, he asked us, Shane asked us, said, right, I need somebody to have a shirt, proper shirt in this film.
That's one of my questions.
Yeah, he did. He said, who's got a shirt? And Gary being a bit LA kind of thing, when I don't think I've got one. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to get his top off him and get in the bath. Yeah, he wanted to do that. So me and Neil Bell said, well, I've got a shirt, and Neil said, well, I've got one, I can do that. So I think we tossed a coin and it was Neil Bell, and he literally did it. I mean, there's no sound effects, that was him. And I literally could tell, yeah, that was it. So that, for example, was kind of what would happen sometimes. And then other times, like the acid scene and stuff like that, we'd develop it for a good few hours. I think he got us up, he took us out the night before, and we all just got on the beer. And then he had us up at 6 o'clock in the morning, so we looked like we were wrecked, you know, so we looked like we were wrecked. And then he just developed the scene and see where it went and stuff like that, you know. And he'd throw some lines in. He likes to do that, Shane. He'd come in and whisper into his ear sometimes and change things around and just, you know. So it was scripted and guided and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah. And, I can't remember if it was me that came up with the elephant thing. I think he asked me what it looked like, and I was like, it looks like a fucking elephant, man. You know, and I'm like, right, use that. And we started, it was only going to be a one-line thing, that, and we started to use it throughout the film then, you know what I mean? We just started to, so we mentioned the elephant again, so we stick it in again, stuff like, see how far we can take the piss with it. And stuff like that would develop. And Shane was just such an honour for him to, he just let us, you know, as an actor, it was just an absolute thrill to be let loose, really, for, you know. I'm sure there is, mate, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot. I can't think off the top of my head. Actually, yeah, I was talking about, there's a scene where we pull up in the car opposite the garages where, when he does that, you're there, mate. Well, initially, I think we first started to build that scene where we all got out the car and basically kicked the shit out of Paddy. And then it was like, no, that's not right. So he was great, and Paddy as well. He'd let you try things, and then he'd go, no, that's not right. And thank God they did, you know what I mean? Because we couldn't see what iconic scene it turned into. So yeah, and he left us all in the car, you know, we were just kind of watching and So yeah, there's stuff like that. I'm sure there's many others, but I can't think of the top of my head now. But yeah, there must be some outtakes somewhere.
Yeah, there's not on the Blu-rays or anything.
Is it not? No. They must have some great footage, yeah.
Oh yeah. I have to contact Walk Films and see if they've got anything.
I remember because in This Is England, I was originally in the film This Is England, and the very first scene of the film was me, was little Tomo, gets out of bed, and he wanders to the toilet, and he opens the door, and I'm bollock naked there, stood there going, what the fuck are you looking at, kind of thing, and he gives me some, and I've just been in the bedroom with his mum. And we filmed that. I think that was the first day of filming on that. They brought us in to do a little cameo in that. But again, it got cut because it wasn't right for the film. Joe's character, Cynthia, wouldn't have been sleeping with sleeping around kind of thing. She was still more than her husband. So it wasn't right, you know. So they tried things, and then so I got cut out of that, you know. So and I remember seeing him a few years back, and he said, "I've still got the footage of that, mate. I'll let you have a look sometime." Yeah. So that'd be funny. I said, "Oh, you're alright, mate. I don't want to see it. I don't think."
Well, he brought you back to the Virtues, didn't he? You were in the Virtues.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I've done a couple of things. I've done a few things with Shane now. We did a thing a few years back as well. It was going to be a pilot for a BBC thing with Johnny Vegas. And we did a load of filming up in Manchester, and nothing came of it, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's about 4 or 5 times now. Lucky enough to work with him.
Yeah. Cool.
To be, like I said, he basically wanted his team of lads together. So by the time we got down, I think I met him a couple of times in Manchester. By the time we got down here, he pretty much got the lads together. But I think initially my character, Herbie, he named me Herbie after Mark Herbert and stuff, producer, he was going to be the first one to die, I think kind of scripted wise. And then after he saw me do the scene in here with Paddy, he seen me do a couple of other scenes, him and Paddy apparently had a chat with, no, leave him till the end, let's have some fun with him kind of thing. That scene at the back of the club, you know, that started, that was fucking great stuff, you know, and so yeah, well, I don't, not different names, we had our names, he had our names quite early, I seem to remember, but he wasn't sure how long the characters were going to be in the film, do you know what I mean, and who was going to die first. I think that just kind of developed as stuff went on. I'm sure Paddy and Shane knew. I mean, they used to go off, obviously they were writing ideas and different things at night, and they'd come in the morning and say, right, we're going to do this today, got an idea to do this, you know. But yeah. Well, again, that was, it started to develop. I mean, it's, I mean, I didn't even know, being dead honest, I didn't even know I was going to cry and stuff in that scene. It was, me and Paddy started to work on it, and some of the questions, some of the things Paddy was throwing at me, and our tears started coming. And I remember Shane was sat there, because you do it very much like this at first. You first start doing it with whoever was in the scene, and just Shane, that was it. The whole room was cleared, Shane would get everybody out, and he'd work on it, and that's how he works until he's happy with it. And he was sat where you are, me and Paddy doing the scene, and he's going, oh bud, oh fucking hell bud. It was kind of getting to him as well, and all that, so he was like, right, we'll try and develop that, we'll do that. And that's how that kind of, and then to show me my mate in the suitcase and stuff was really sick, you know. That was horrible looking at that, because that didn't half look real, you know.
The first time you saw it?
Yeah. I mean, with rehearsing stuff with it, I knew what was kind of going to be in there. But I think one of the first takes was when I kind of saw it. I was like, and it did look like him.
It did, just like him.
Dancing,
a bit squashed up.
One of his dance moves.
That's probably where we started it.
It is. It was Northern Soul dancing. That's what we did to him, because every time he'd just take over the dance floor, so we thought, put him in the suitcase, man. Let's get him on our tits. Well, it was literally 6, 7 in the morning, and that's why we looked absolutely wrecked, because we'd been out in some nightclub in the village here, I think, because I remember there was, I think it was the night that the producers had to come and get us all, which absolutely wrecked. We started to paint the town red, because I think when we were down here, I think after a couple of days and a couple of weeks maybe, I think it was here for about 4 weeks, people started to know that there was a film being made down here. So we'd go into pubs and bars and people would know who we were. And Gary Stretch had a bit of a face for being a boxer, and some people knew him. So we was getting a bit of a reputation for ourselves, I think, a little bit. And this particular night, I can't remember where this club was. And it was off our heads really with beer and stuff. And that's what he wanted. He wanted us wrecked in the morning, because we couldn't have, obviously you're not the drugs and stuff on set and things like that, so we couldn't do. But he wanted it kind of real, you know. And I think, if I remember rightly, I think Gary Stretch, there's a little bit of vodka in that bottle he's drinking to give him a little bit of an edge, because Gary, if you remember, Gary's a boxer, he's a pro, he's been a fit lad all his life, you know what I mean? He's looked after himself all his life. So for him to kind of reenact some kind of drug stuff and stuff like that, that's not been his lifestyle, you know what I mean? So I think Shane let him have a little bit of vodka just so he can get a little bit of an edge and we had some bottles of beer as well and stuff like that.
It definitely worked for the scene.
It did, and we were just messing about. I mean, just letting Gary get on the weights and stuff, and me and Neil Bell just kind of taking the piss out and laughing at him there and just developing stuff. I love the bit with the kettles and the pot noodle. We were laughing making it, you know what I mean? There's so many scenes where we were laughing making it, because it was like, because we didn't know what each other were going to say sometimes, Phil, you know, so you'd just come out with something, Neil would come out and you'd just be pissing yourself laughing, you know, and you have to go, mate, don't say that, you just set us off, wrecking the car.
I've been in that house where it's filmed.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's very posh now, isn't it? It don't look anything like it did.
Yeah, from the outside it looks similar, the same front door. Same front door. And I also knocked on the door just to chance if no one was in. He knew about the film, he'd never seen it. He knew it was filmed there, so he let me in. The kitchen's the same, but all the living room and dining area is dead different. Where all the weights were.
And the fish tank.
Yeah,
that was. I think that was a throwaway line. And we just started to. Me and Neil Bell used to bounce off each other so much. So I was like, we fed the fish. It just became a joke between us. Now fed the fish. Man. See how many times you can say it. Keep it in out for the fish. Somebody fed the fish, mate. Just kept fucking just saying it. This and probably even still your my Corrie days and stuff like that, even though it's so long ago and stuff, you still get bits of that, but this, especially a good few years after the film and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've had people at the gigs and stuff.
Does anyone say any lines to you?
Yeah, they have to try and reenact a scene, mate. Can I do that scene? That one, this one in here. They want to always do that one. What are you looking at, mate? They always want to reenact that one. I think like Paddy gets it. They always like, come on, Paddy, do say that for me too, and stuff. Yeah, so the people get what to say lines to and stuff like that. Yeah, and the elephant one.
Oh, yeah.
Just say elephant man. Just say it massive man and stuff like that. Yeah, you get that. But it's cool. You know what I mean? It has become. We're just so proud of it. I mean, I've said to you before, even I think Paddy with all his career and all the things he's done and stuff, he gets asked. I think he gets asked about his film more than anything.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I remember speaking to him. All the amazing films he's done and whatever, people still come back to this.
Yeah,
crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. And I talk about it and stuff, and even Shane, I think, mate. I think Shane, you know, he's gone on to do some. I mean, This Is India, you know, massive success with This Is India and stuff like that, and even The Virtue and stuff. But people want to ask, you know, and when I've gone on to like stuff like The Virtues and stuff like that, even parts of the crew have gone. When they've got to know you after a couple of days, they're like, yeah, mate, can I ask you some stuff about Dead Man's Shoes? They all want to know things, you know. They all want to know stuff, yeah. I've not seen him since, to be fair, mate. And again, I don't know if you know this, but there was another lad cast as that part, Anthony.
I did read.
Yeah,
it was the day before or something.
We never met. We never met. Oh, did I tell him? I don't know if we met him. He may have come in one day, been introduced to us, and then he just got cold feet. And I think his mum, he was only a young age. His mum phoned up and said he don't want to do it. And I think they'd found out what was going to be in the film and stuff like that, and he was kind of uncomfortable with it and stuff. So I think we was more or less ready to start shooting. And then Shane came in one day and said, "There's another guy I've got my eye on that he discovered. I don't know if it's with Des Hamilton and Nottingham, that area.
Oh, yeah.
He said he's amazing." And then again, there was this room across the road there, this club. And I think the first time he had us again playing pool and stuff like that, and he brought him in and he said, just work around the lads and stuff like that. And every credit to Toby, he wasn't afraid of us or anything, you know what I mean? And we bonded then a couple of weeks and stuff, so we were pals. And he came in and he went straight into character. On between, I mean, we got really close. I spoke to Paul Sado only the other week. He's going to do a music video for me, a dance video for me. And he's down in Margate now. Neil Bell I still see, and you know, Joe Hartley grew up where I grew up. So we're still in touch with people.
A lot of cast split up and never see each other again.
Toby I've never seen. I mean, I know he's gone to LA and stuff like that, but I've never. Because I think the premiere, we filmed in 2003 and the premiere was in Edinburgh, and Paddy was up there, and I don't know if, Toby was up there, sorry, I saw Toby, last time I seen Toby was 2004, so I've seen him in films and things, you know, watching something the other day on Sky he was in and stuff, so, but I'd love to see him, I've not seen him it'd be great to see him now. He's a grown man now, he was a little kid when we knew him, you know, we didn't have to give him some stick, you know, bless him, but he was, he wasn't frightened of us. No, because even Gary Stretch was getting a little bit. We ended up like four cocky. We were like the lads in the film. You know, when we was filming this, we were lads about town. We go to the pub every night. We're drinking here every night, stuff like that. You know, we was a little bit boisterous, and that's what came out in the film. You know? It was real.
How can this have happened to me? There must have been some kind of mistake. How can this have happened to me? Must have been some kind of mistake. How can this have happened to me? Happiness to me was like a distant land. Here you stand, smiling at me, holding my hand. This is happening to me. This is happening to me. How is this? I'm falling in love. Never thought that I was enough. How is this? I'm falling in love. Never thought this life on my own would ever come to much. This is why I'm falling in love.